Let's move on now to the Los Angeles Chargers 2023 season prediction video, where we will break down the entire schedule for the Chargers 2023 season and also give our floor and ceiling and overall playoff probability. But before we do that, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan and I, we are starting a fun season-long competition where we will predict and make videos on every single NFL game. And also, every Sunday night at 8:15, starting this Sunday, we will be going live and reviewing all the action that happened that day while also tuning into the Sunday night football game that's going to be taking place. So if you want to join us on Sunday nights and also see all of our prediction videos, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified. Ryan, let's get into it here. So what Ryan and I did, we just predicted all the games just real quick, just kind of based off overall matchup. And some of the games we were made as ties. It's just crucial games that we could see going back and forth. And so right here, week 1, for example, I can see Chargers winning and losing that game against the Dolphins. But overall, in general, though, the Chargers, I mentioned this in other videos, I think they're one of the few teams that aren't division favorites, but are playoff locks across the entire NFL. Even for how tight the AFC is and how many good teams are that could make the playoffs. I think the Chargers are just a notch above all those fringe playoff teams. Going to be in the 5th or 6th place when it comes to time. And so if they don't have a chance to win in the division here, I can honestly see a scenario as we have here where they do go 14-3. That's kind of our ceiling for them. And so they're going to beat a lot of the teams that they're going to have losing records, and they're going to compete against winning and playoff teams. So kind of getting into the season here, it's every game, I think, for AFC teams is tough because there's so many potential playoff teams. But if there was going to be a start for the Chargers, I think this is a favorable one, even though they do have an early bye.
Yeah, definitely. And so they start out tough game against Miami, and then they do have a tough matchup against the Tennessee Titans as well in week 2. They run the ball really well, and that has been their kryptonite for the last 3 years.
That's what's weird. It's like I think the Chargers are a better team.
They are.
The one thing that they're really bad at, the Titans, it's like the only thing they do really well.
Yeah. And then Vikings and Raiders, they should win both of those games. They're definitely better teams than both of those. And so coming back from the bye, they have a tough game against Dallas. We do have them edging out Dallas. To me, this offensive line should be a lot better. And just they're getting back Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater. So I think that'll definitely help against Dallas. And then Kansas City, that's always tough. They honestly should have beat them at Kansas City last year, but I think they let them off the hook on that should have been touchdown drive where they threw the pick 6. Mm-hmm. And I blame that solely on Brendan Staley. But anyways, after that, 2 tough games against the Jets and the Lions. We have both of those as ties. Those are really critical in the middle of the season. And then maybe a little bit of an easier stretch here against the Packers, Ravens, Broncos, and then Raiders again. We do have them losing to the Patriots, and I am a little biased. I am a Patriots fan. But every time they've played the Patriots twice with Justin Herbert, and both times they've just totally flustered him. And I just think Bill Belichick sometimes has that ability with certain quarterbacks to just fluster them, and it just totally shuts down offenses. So that is the reasoning behind that pick. But then 3 out of their last 4 games, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, we have them winning. And then the Bills game is a tie. That's going to be a critical game as they could both realistically be fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah. And the Bills, we actually have the Bills not even making the playoffs. Just being on the outside. I think they're going to decline, especially then, too, with Von Miller not starting the season. So, and then they have 2 division games here where they actually end up winning. A Week 18 game against the Chiefs could be crucial. That they could definitely be a division winner on the line for both teams. So, looking back at it, though, I think 10 wins is definitely in sight, and that's definitely going to get you in the playoffs. One of the few teams where I feel confident that like a double-digit season win for them. But the one thing, too, which is always just tough, is because I think we have them beating the Chargers and Broncos for both their division games, and those division games are so
Raiders.
much toss-up. Oh, sorry, I said Chargers. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
the Broncos and the Raiders. My apologies. So those games are such toss-ups. I think on paper they're better, but hey, both those games, all 4 games, I think were tough for the Chargers and were played tough. But who just knows this season? But in general, though, they're definitely one of the better teams in the AFC. They're not as good as the Bengals. I think that the Chiefs are getting closer and closer. It's kind of almost this Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes type rivalry.
Yeah,
Getting a lot of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning type vibes. You know what I mean? Where it's just there's a franchise quarterback who has a lot of potential, and yet there's just a guy who just has a level of greatness that just can't seem to be beaten.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of getting that vibe. And honestly, it's great for the game, too, especially, too, if you look at the AFC now. Justin Herbert leading the Chargers. You got Mahomes in Kansas City, Allen in Buffalo, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, then a slew of other great quarterbacks as well that can slowly just they just keep building up their franchise. Who knows what's going to happen maybe with Kenny Pickett and the Steelers, I don't think that he's as great, but that team is extremely competitive. So, the Chargers are up there in the top 6 for me as an automatic playoff lock as the season is about to start here soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. They are very good. This defense, they had a lot of injuries last year, and they were still, I think, the 6th seed. They were the 5th seed.
The 5th seed.
Yeah, and so this team should definitely be improved. And so I'm really curious to see what they're able to do here in 2023. But let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on how you think the Chargers are going to do here in 2023. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.